She was trolled for having a moon face last year. The actress and director revealed she had been diagnosed with Cushing Syndrome, which was caused by having steroid injections in high doses. According to the Mayo Clinic, Cushing Syndrome happens when the body has too much of the hormone cortisol for a long time. The site adds how it can result from the body making too much cortisol, or from taking medicines called glucocorticoids, which affect the body the same way as cortisol. And now Amy has shared how she never would have gotten her diagnosis of the condition if it wasn't for internet trolls. Speaking on the Call Her Daddy podcast hosted by Alex Cooper, she said, "A year ago, the internet really came for me." Amy was referring to how last January she appeared on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, when people commented on her puffy and swollen face. Speaking on the podcast this week, she explained how she ignored the comments at first, saying, "I was like, okay, everybody, like, relax." But then when physicians began to comment with possible diagnoses, she sat up and paid attention. Doctors were chiming in the comments, and they were like, No, something's really up. Your face looks so crazy." "At first, I was like, FK off," Amy said. But then she thought, wait, I have been getting steroid injections for my scars. Amy had a breast reduction and cesarean section, with the star getting steroid injections to help fade her scars. "So I got was getting these steroid injections, and so it gave me this thing called Cushing Syndrome, which I wouldn't have known if the internet hadn't come for me so hard," she said on the PDcast. Amy went on to say how she learned that she had the condition right before she started shooting the comedy Kinda Pregnant, which comes out on Netflix next month. Recalling when she got diagnosed, she said, "I learned I had this condition, and that I had something called moon face, and I'm starring in a movie, and there's a camera right in my face. Everyone's like, 'You look great,'" she added. But then one of her friends was very blunt. "Your face is looking like a little bit insane," Amy recalled her friend telling her. She later said on the podcast, "I was feeling really down on myself before I started filming this movie. I was, like, really having trouble figuring out how I was going to star in a movie while I had this going on." When Amy was initially trolled for her moon face, she broke her silence on social media. "Thank you so much for everyone's input about my face," she said at the time. "I've enjoyed feedback and deliberation about my appearance as all women do for almost 20 years. And you're right, it is puffier than normal right now." The Hollywood star explained, "I have endometriosis, an autoimmune disease that every woman should read about. There are some medical and hormonal things going on in my world right now, but I'm okay. Historically, women's bodies have barely been studied medically compared to men." The book All in Her Head does a good job explaining this. "I also believe a woman doesn't need any excuse for her physical appearance and owes no explanation. But I wanted to take the opportunity to advocate for self-love and acceptance of the skin you're in. Like every other woman/person, some days I feel confident and good as hell, and others, I want to put a bag over my head. But I feel strong and beautiful, and so proud of this TV show I created, wrote, starred in, and directed. Maybe, just maybe, we can focus on that for a little. I had backup dancers on Fallon, but my face is the headline, ha ha ha. Anyway, I hope you enjoy life and Beth. Love and solidarity. Amy." She was then later diagnosed with Cushing Syndrome. The star, who has now got rid of the syndrome, first announced news of her diagnosis in early 2024 in the News Not Noise Substack newsletter.